Godzilla vs. Kong is the fourth movie in the big monsterverse of movies, which started with 2014's Godzilla, then Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and now Godzilla vs. Kong. And I gotta say, if COVID wasn't a thing, Godzilla vs. Kong was going to be the biggest movie for me to end 2020, because originally this movie was scheduled to release in November of 2020, and it would have been such a great way for me to end 2020 with that big of a movie. Because if I can recall, the movie scheduling for December of 2020, there wasn't really anything coming out around that time. So Godzilla vs. Kong was going to be the big epic finish to 2020. But now it is the second newest movie I'm seeing in 2021. And I did see this in theaters, and because I've said it many times, I'll say it again because I believe I said this during my review of Raya and the Last Dragon. If you are going to go to the movie theaters, please make sure you wear your mask and you're following the rules, so that way we can keep movie theaters open so everybody can enjoy this experience once again. Even though I have a little bit of a rant to go on before I start this review, I just want to say, guys, if you're going to go to the movie theater, for the love of God, turn off your cell phones, or at least be kind and courteous and have the brightness all the way down. Because I went to see Godzilla vs. Kong in the Dolby Theater with my stepdad, and we had some guy all the way to our right had the brightness up on his phone, and he was checking it like every single second. And we didn't want to say anything or leave the theater to go get somebody because we were afraid we were going to miss some action with Godzilla and Kong. So, and I might even make a separate video on this, but just turn off your phones, okay? And if you don't want to go to a theater and watch this movie, guess what? There's HBO Max where you can watch new movies for free. And guess what? It's cheaper too. Rant aside, let's talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. I was very hyped up for this movie ever since I saw 2014's Godzilla, and I heard that they were going to lead this up to the two of them fighting. I was excited because, let's all be real here, we don't go to these movies for the human characters. We just don't. We go to see giant CGI monsters destroy cities and beat the crap out of other monsters. That's what it's always been like. And I haven't reviewed any of these movies yet, but 2014's Godzilla was definitely a decent, good movie to watch. I'll watch it every now and then. I have it on Blu-ray. Kong Skull Island was definitely a fun ride. Nothing too big with its story, but visually, and that's nothing. Visually, all of these movies are amazing, but the second Godzilla movie, Godzilla King of the Monsters, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And maybe one day I'll get into talking more in depth about those movies, but today we're talking about the newest one, Godzilla vs. Kong. Aside from my movie theater experience with the Mr. on his phone, this was a very enjoyable movie. I do have some negatives that I'll get into in a bit, but just overly, I really did enjoy this movie. I think everything leading up to these two characters fighting was very, very well done. Especially, I gotta highlight the visuals here, and that's something that I talked about with Raya and the Last Dragon. The amount of the look of these visuals nowadays, it's just getting more impressive every single day. Raya and the Last Dragon looked amazing. And the amount of detail with Kong and Godzilla is just mind-blowing. These creatures have never looked any better. Absolutely stunning, amazing. And the overall look of the world is good too. Like the environments in which they fight and the whole setting of which the film goes about, it all looks great. Everything in this movie looks great. But I do have some negatives, so I'm going to go ahead and get into that. Probably, and I won't, and again, spoiler free, not going to say anything, not going to say, anything big or whatnot. This is going to be spoiler free. But my big negatives for this movie is that, as you can probably guess, like I mentioned earlier, there are human characters in these movies, and we don't go to these movies for the human characters. We just don't. We go to see these monsters fight or destroy cities. That's the point. But the problem with Godzilla vs. Kong is that there's almost too many human things going on. There are so many characters that are trying to explain stuff for the audience, but realistically, I'm pretty sure we could all figure it out. Millie Bobby Brown's character, who's on Stranger Things, she has a little bit of a quest in this movie which honestly makes sense. But then we have Alexander Skarsgård and this other girl. I don't know who the actress's name is, but there's this little girl that knows how to communicate with Kong. And honestly, I really felt like that's really all we needed for this, because she's able to speak to Kong, she understands Kong, and there's a little bit of a backstory with the two that I wish was explained a little bit more, but I ended up really liking, the little girl and talking to Kong. I thought that was very sweet. I was never annoyed by it. Really good stuff. So you have the little girl that's basically informing us about Kong, whereas Millie Bobby Brown is mostly talking to us about Godzilla and trying to figure out what's going on with him, while you have some other characters kind of doing some stuff. It just kind of feels like it's kind of going all over the place. And I will not lie, there was a part of this movie where I kind of thought to myself, okay, we've been dealing with a lot of human stuff. Can we get on to some action? Somebody throw a punch. I swear, please, somebody throw a punch. But thankfully, the build up to the very first fight was amazing. I was on the edge of my seat. I was very excited. It did not disappoint. The first fight was absolutely amazing. Every single fight scene was amazing in this movie. But that's really my only negatives, is that, the human characters, I never really cared about them. Probably just the little girl. I cared about the little girl. Millie Bobby Brown, yeah, because I watched Stranger Things. But I just think that there probably could have been a better way. We could have had all these characters in just one group, so that way we're not jumping from different character perspectives. I feel like that could have been a lot better. But honestly, that's my only negative. The positive thing is you are definitely getting your money's worth with this movie. You want to see Godzilla fight Kong? Oh, you're going to get Godzilla versus Kong. And such an amazing, amazing fight. The final fight with these two is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. There's nothing but positives about that. Taking human characters aside for what you really want to see, which is a giant lizard versus a giant ape, you get that. And it's totally amazing. And I can't really talk about this other thing because it is a spoiler, but overall, I really did enjoy this film. Fantastic visuals, great fight scenes. The only bummer is that the humans, you kind of really, honestly, you don't care about. You just care about the Titans, and that's Godzilla and Kong. Would I see this movie again? Absolutely. I'm definitely going to be buying it on Blu-ray because I have to complete the collection, because I find these monster movies to just be a great guilty pleasure, just to sit back and just watch them and just have a good time. And that's what these movies are. I don't really care about the human characters, but at the same time, though, when the monsters come on screen, you pay attention. That's all you want to see. And overall, I'm going to give Godzilla vs. Kong a B+. The monsters definitely do not disappoint in this movie. It's exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see these two fight, and goddamn did they fight. But the only negative is you don't care about the humans, and there is a point in this movie where you will tell yourself, okay, somebody throw a punch, somebody do something. But the fight scenes are absolutely amazing. Every single one is. And the little surprise that they have at the ending was a nice bonus as well. I may do a spoiler review about what happens, but just take my word for it. If you've got HBO Max, watch the movie because you're going to be able to get it for free. But I will say, though, this movie is probably best enjoyed on the big screen. So, hey, find a local theater that is open, wear your mask, see it in Dolby because it has the vibrating seats, or see it in IMAX because you'll definitely get a good experience there. Definitely see this movie in theaters, but if you're still a little bit nervous about going, just get HBO Max. You can watch it for free. It is available for free on HBO Max until April 30th, just to give you guys a heads up. But yeah, this was such a fun ride. Such a fun ride. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of Godzilla vs. Kong. More stuff is going to be on the way. I feel like there's more stuff that I can just randomly talk about and review that I kind of want to do when I've got some free time. This video is most likely, you're probably watching it on a Saturday, but I'm actually recording it now on a Thursday because I'm going to be recording the newest episode, The Falcon and Winter Soldier. But yeah, I have some more just fun-ish reviews that I want to do. I've actually been watching some new shows. I may want to do some reviews on those. But yeah, but in terms of movies, the next movie, per se, that I might go and see, or I might just watch with HBO Max, but I kind of want to see it in the theaters, I may end up reviewing Mortal Kombat. I've never played Mortal Kombat. I know a little bit about the characters, but I feel like it could just be a nice, guilty pleasure-ish movie to go watch in theaters. So you can possibly later in the month of April expect to review Mortal Kombat. But that's all I got for today. Thank you all so much for watching my review, and I'll see you guys next time.